took one exam almost a month back, and you took the second attempt. So, what difference did you see in your preparation levels in both exams?
So initially, I was aiming for a score of at least 685 plus, and I did not achieve that like in my first test.
Right.
So, so the reason I took two tests was I wanted one would be a main test, and the first test would be a preparatory mock test type thing.
Okay.
So once I wrote the first test, I was able to see where my performance was, and based on that, I could change my approach and streamline it into what I had to actually work on.
Right.
Like, for example, in my first test, I did well on the quant and the verbal section, but I didn't perform that well on the TI section.
Okay.
So accordingly, I started working on the TI, and especially in the graph, tables, MSR questions.
Those different formats of questions.
Yeah, because I think MSR question took a lot of preparation also, because it's very time consuming sometimes.
Yes. You need to be very prepared to do it under time pressure. And how many mock tests did you take before the first attempt?
Just two. Just the MBA.com test.
So two definitely won't make you prepared for the final test.
Yeah, I was like that was even that first test was like a mock test only. Like
Actually,
I was not
as a mock test.
Yes,
and how
I
many
was not
mock
thinking
tests
that's going
you took in total before the second one?
Before the second one, I took I took 7-8 tests from the GMAT Hub site.
Okay, from the portal that we have.
Yeah, from the portal, and I had done almost all the quant sectional tests.
Okay.
And the DI tests also, they were uploaded. I had done 2-3. I didn't have time to do all 4.
Right.
And I had found one computer adaptive test also, just to see how I was performing on the internet. And
so all in all, you have to take like 7-8 mock tests at least before you take the final test.
At least, if you can, you should take as much as you can. 10 is good around.
10 is good, but you can't do it with 2-3. That's for sure.
No, definitely not with 2-3.
Right. Yep. And you improved by
just to analyze where you are, how much time you're taking per section, where you should work on.
So you I mean, if you're doing it after 2-3, it's another mock test that you're taking, kind of, right?
Sorry?
I mean, if you're doing it after 2-3 mock tests, it'll be another mock test, not the final test, in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. 2-3 is not enough for 5.
Right. So and another point, once you started taking mock tests, so what was your strategy, and how did you cope up with, let's say, you lack in this area, and analyzing the mock test, how to proceed further after taking a mock test, what areas to work upon? So those are the areas where things are very dynamic, in terms of what you need to do once you start taking mock tests.
Yeah, so in the mock test, I tried out different combinations, like which one I would start with, and
the order of the sections.
I would do in middle and end. Yeah, the order of the sections.
Right.
But in the end, I chose to go with quant, verbal, DI, because I thought quant I would focus during math. Verbal would be a change, and DI, and I thought DI was my worst section. So in case I perform bad, I don't want it to be lingering in my mind in the next 2 sections, at least.
Okay. And
and after doing a mock test,
what was the analysis that you used to go through after every mock test?
So once I used to do so after I did the mock test, I would just look at my score of how I performed. Then I would take a break and come back after few hours, and then I would used to see and watch the solution videos and see where I went wrong. If it was for quant, then I would see which topic areas it was. If it was verbal, then verbal I would watch videos and just practice more RCCR.
Right.
DI also same thing. I used to make mistake in data sufficiency, because that's the part I think people think they can finish off fast.
Right.
Without wasting too much time, and I think often you end up making mistake while choosing the answer, because you don't think of all scenarios.
DS is always tricky. Yes.
Yeah. So Even in DS, you can find which topic you're not doing well in. And
because DS is majorly quant, right?
Yeah.
Majorly quant, right?
And I think in the lot of non-maths related questions in the two-part analysis and MSR, they used to be very tricky.
Yeah, majorly when they are about CR, critical reasoning parts, they become very tricky. Yes.
Yeah, that can be very tricky because so many of them look like they could possibly be done.
Right. And because the material on those 4 different question formats is very limited, the official material. So it's good that we figure out more material and practice more and more of those questions. Otherwise, we can't leave it just on the exam day.
No, you can't.
You need to get comfortable doing those questions. Right.
Yes, two-part analysis. There is such a huge variety of questions.
Yes. It's almost unlimited. So you just need to get comfortable understanding the question and just picking the sense of the question. That's very important, right?
Yeah.
And any suggestions on for the exam day or maybe a day or two before the exam? How should people go about that?
I would say like the last 10 days, like 2 mocks as much as you can. Maybe 1 per day also if necessary, and then evaluate which areas you've gone wrong in the one half of the day, and the other half evaluate which part. And if you don't practice, just work on the whichever areas you're making mistakes in the other half of the day. And the last one day, like the day before, I would say don't do mocks.
Don't take a mock.
In case, don't take a mock because in case you don't do well, you might lose confidence or start doubting yourself and all the preparation you have done. So I would just say, just focus on small parts or
just practice
whichever parts
question.
you feel you can improve with little preparation. Yeah, just practice questions in whichever area you're weak. You feel like you can perform better in with little more effort. And exam day, I guess it depends on you, but I wrote my exam in the morning, so I wouldn't have too much time to sit and think.
That's a good thing. I mean, your mind should be totally distraction free, right?
Yeah.
And do you also suggest that whenever your exam is scheduled at whatever time of the day, your mocks should be taken at that time so that your body is in sync with that? Would that be of any much help? Or
I don't know if it didn't work for me because I'm usually not someone who starts studying very early in the morning, but I took the test early morning.
Okay, but the final test was in the morning, but the mock test was not at that time.
No. I usually end up start studying from like maybe 11:30 at least. But my mock test was my final test was at 10:30 in the morning.
Okay, so
I think I started before that only.
Okay. So it doesn't really make much difference. That's what you're saying.
No. You just have to be focused when you're doing it. It can be any time. Whatever works for you personally.
Okay.
For me, I just thought, there's no need to think too much.
Sometimes people, the exam is at 8:30 in the morning. In that case, if they're not used to it, it can be a problem.
Yeah. That's why I said not too early in the morning. So enough time you have to sleep.
I mean, because you mentioned that you generally start doing it by 11 and exam was at 10:30. So it's almost at the same time.
Yeah. Not too much. Not too much difference.
So it shouldn't be that you do it only in the evening and your exam is on the morning, and that I think that could be a problem area.
Like that, not too much difference. I don't mean exact time, but too much difference.
Not exact, but during the same duration, same time of the day.
Like if it works for you, it's fine. Like everyone's different in this aspect.
Okay. So. What strategies specifically that we discussed worked for you and created the difference?
So I think during the classes, in each of the you had quant class, you had verbal class. If you used to, especially I would say for the quant classes, because for verbal classes, because it's RC and CR, right? If you randomly start solving it,
right,
it's the one you would try to first go for, because maths you might not know the formulas, DI you might not understand, but verbal everyone can be like, oh, let me try, I might get it right,
because it looks like a simple logical thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's the one you could do with least preparation.
It looks like common sense.
You might think, I'm good at it.
Yeah, with common sense I can do that.
Yeah, but it's not at all like that, because in the classes
you cannot have consistency with that. Just with common sense, it's very difficult.
Like one answer will be right, next will be wrong.
Right, and you'll never know why the correct one was correct and the wrong one was
wrong. So
I
think because of the classes where you used to spend a lot of time teaching us how to approach the question. Just writing down what you have to look for in the question, like what it's asking for. Otherwise, you can get lost in what the question is asking for itself in the answer.
Right.
So I think the approach for being verbal was very important.
Yeah, and
And
it's very important that we understand the essence of the question, what exactly they are trying us to do. Like that's
yeah,
very, very important. Most of the time, people don't understand that with difficult questions, and they end up spending a lot of time, wasting a lot of time on every question.
yeah.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
that helps a lot,
Hmm.
especially when you're giving us time in class, and eliminating each option also, so
Right.
which option is why it's not getting chosen as well.
It's again
Spending
very
time on.
important. You must know why the wrong option is wrong, for what reason.
Yeah,
Most of the time, people don't do that, and
yeah.
they end up
And I
screwing
think
up
even
things.
for DI,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I think even for DI, how to start approaching those questions. Like, when
Hmm.
you see a first time you see a two-part analysis question, you don't know how to solve it. You don't, and, like,
Right.
I didn't even understand what the question I had to tick. I didn't know how many I had to tick and all.
Right.
But
Right.
then gradually, once you tell what to do, it'll be like,
Ah.
oh, like this, I have to look at it like that. And for MSR, you have to combine all of them. So
Right.
I think that's very important that you have, the right guidance when you're starting. So you
Right.
approach the right
Hmm.
strategies. Otherwise, you can still maybe do, but it'll just take you so much more time, energy.
Yeah, and
Just like,
you'll never know, whether you got the right, nub of
yeah,
the question or not. That's another risk.
like
Hmm.